You've seen it before. Two people start at the same place, same resources, same opportunities, but one of them quietly separates. Not overnight, not dramatically, just steadily. And the strange part is, it doesn't look like they're doing anything extraordinary. So why do they end up with extraordinary results? What do they understand that most people don't? Problem. Deep dive. From the outside, success looks like effort, hard work, consistency, discipline. But you've probably tried those. You've pushed yourself, forced routines, watched motivation come and go. And still, something doesn't click. Because the real struggle isn't effort. It's this quiet friction inside you. You want to act, but you hesitate. You want to commit, but you second guess. You want to become more, but something keeps pulling you back to who you've always been. So you start asking yourself, why can't I just stay consistent? Why do I lose momentum? Why does it feel harder for me? And slowly, this turns into identity. Maybe I'm not disciplined. Maybe I'm not built for this. Maybe I just don't have it. But here's what most people never realize. This isn't a motivation problem. It's not even a discipline problem. It's something deeper. It's how your brain protects your current identity. You're not failing. You're stabilizing. Your brain isn't trying to stop you. It's trying to keep you consistent with who you believe you are. Because in psychology, your identity is like a baseline, a reference point your brain constantly tries to return to. If you've always seen yourself as someone who struggles, then success doesn't feel natural. It feels like a mismatch. And your brain notices that, not as an opportunity, but as a threat. So it pulls you back. Not because you're weak, but because your brain prefers a familiar struggle over an unfamiliar identity. Even if that identity is better, your identity. Think of your mind like a thermostat. It's set to a certain temperature, your current self-image. If you start behaving above that level, more disciplined, more focused, more confident, the system reacts. It cools you down. Doubt appears. Fatigue increases. Distractions feel stronger. Not randomly, but because your brain is trying to return you to your set point. Now here's the deeper layer. Your brain also uses something called prediction efficiency. It wants to predict your behavior easily. If you suddenly act out of character, prediction becomes harder. And that uncertainty creates discomfort. So your brain nudges you back into familiar patterns. This is why you can be highly motivated and still sabotage yourself. Because motivation pushes forward, but identity pulls backward, and identity usually wins. Practical framework. So if extraordinary success isn't just about effort, then what actually works? It starts with changing how your brain defines you, not through force, but through strategic psychological alignment. Here are 4 principles. Lower the identity gap. What to do? Stop aiming for extreme change. Start with actions that feel slightly above your current identity. Why it works: your brain resists large identity jumps. But small shifts don't trigger the same threat response. This reduces cognitive dissonance. Example, instead of, I'll work 5 hours daily, start with, I'm someone who shows up for 20 minutes. That feels believable. And belief is what allows repetition. 2. Use evidence, not motivation. What to do? Track small wins as proof of your new identity. Write them down, make them visible. Why it works. Your brain updates identity through evidence, not intention. This is called self-perception theory. You believe who you are based on what you repeatedly observe yourself doing. Example, after finishing a small task, noted, I followed through. I showed up. Over time, your brain stops seeing effort and starts seeing identity. 3. Make behavior predictable. What to do. Attach your actions to specific cues. Same time, same place, same trigger. Why it works. Your brain prefers predictable patterns. This reduces decision fatigue and increases neural efficiency. Habits become automatic when they're easy to predict. Example, instead of, I'll work when I feel ready, use, after I sit at my desk, I begin immediately. No negotiation. 4. Redefine. Discomfort. What to do. Stop interpreting resistance as a sign to stop. See it as a sign of identity expansion. Why it works. Your brain labels unfamiliar effort as wrong. But in reality, it's just new. Reframing discomfort reduces avoidance behavior. Example, when you feel resistance, instead of thinking, this isn't for me, shift to, this is my brain adjusting to a new version of me. That single shift changes your reaction. So what actually creates extraordinary success? Not intensity, not motivation, not even discipline. At least not in the way most people think. It's identity alignment. Think of it like this. Your results are not produced by what you want. They're produced by what your brain believes is normal for you. If success feels extra, you'll treat it like something temporary. But if it feels like you, you'll sustain it without constant effort. That's the shift, from forcing behavior to becoming someone for whom that behavior is natural. And that doesn't happen in one decision. It happens in small, repeated proofs. Quiet moments where you act slightly differently than before, and your brain notices and adjusts. Extraordinary success doesn't come from doing more. It comes from becoming different, slowly enough that your brain accepts it, not all at once, but piece by piece, until one day, the things that once felt difficult feel normal, and the version of you that once felt distant feels familiar. So maybe the real question isn't, how do I become successful? But, what version of me would find this natural? And then, you begin there, quietly, consistently, without forcing it.